and this is HuskyStarcraft here, back to some more StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm action. This time it's going to be between Babyknight down in the bottom right side, and up in the top left side, it is going to be Morrow. Babyknight's saying they aren't quite, wait, Reapers aren't what they used to be, huh? Sad face. I guess it's technically a happy face and a heart there. But, anyways, I want to talk about these players. I want to talk about some awesome Blizzard news. I really just want to talk about everything, so I'm going to get it underway right away. First of all, if you didn't hear, Blizzard is officially making a Warcraft movie. I don't know if I would call it a World of Warcraft movie, but, anyways, they have officially hired a director. We have no idea if the script is in process, finished, polished, and going in the revision stage. We don't know what the script status is. But there is going to be a Warcraft movie, and it is being overseen by Chris Metzen, who has been with Blizzard since the beginning, and has been, you know, voices of characters such as Thrall and a lot of the characters throughout the years of Blizzard. So I think it's in capable hands. If you didn't see the announcement, look at the video that was uploaded just before this one. There's a link to the article that officially talks about it with some fancy quotes and all of that. So I'm super, super excited. I, of course, would have preferred a StarCraft movie, but I gotta say I have dwelled in Warcraft quite a bit, whether it's Warcraft 1, 2, 3, all of the expansions, or World of Warcraft. I've played them all to death. But anyways, back into this game, I want to talk a little bit about these players. Number one, I have cast both of these players on my team, on my channel, not on my team. On my channel, I've cast them a couple of times. And Babyknight probably a little bit less than Morrow, but I've always got my eye on you, Babyknight, because even though I feel like the name Babyknight should be a Terran player, I don't know why, Babyknight just seems like it would be a Terran player. But anyways, keep an eye out for him. I expect him to do very well when Heart of the Swarm comes out. And as far as Morrow is concerned, he has been playing a lot of Heart of the Swarm, although previously, or I should say most recently, he hasn't played that much as he was playing a lot of Wings of Liberty. He just recently picked up Heart of the Swarm once again, which we're starting to see more and more players kind of coming back. A lot of players took off 1 or maybe 2 months off from Heart of the Swarm just because no one was really playing games on Heart of the Swarm. But now that's getting closer and closer to the release of the actual game, then of course those pro gamers are going to start playing more and more. So every day that goes by, there's not going to be less good games. There's actually going to start being more. And apparently they're talking about being the best foreigner there. But we do have a command center first for Morrow. So Morrow's saying, you know what, man? You know what, Husky? You know what, Babyknight? You know what, fans? I am okay just sitting back, playing the late game macro game, and let's make it happen. I'm kind of curious to see if he goes for any sort of mech play. I think the answer is no, because he has no gas on the way, is going to go through with the double barracks, continues marine production right now. He could go for another command center, or he could just go for the double gas right there. So I guess it still is an option, but we'll have to wait and see. One thing that Morrow loves to do is mech, and I've actually talked to him a little bit, more than I've talked to other players actually, about trying to go mech versus Protoss, and he wants it to work so bad. He's the guy who, as soon as Dustin Browder makes mech viable, he is just going to be just fine, because he's been playing hundreds and hundreds of games that way. I'm not sure if he's going to be going for mech in this game still. I mean, the double gas, it's kind of a hard choice to see exactly what he's going to go. We'll be able to afford a factory here pretty soon, so either way, that's going to open up drops, it's going to open up Widow Mines, it's going to open up all of the mech, of course, and lots of different options you can do here. So I gotta say, I actually kind of like this play from Morrow as a non-Terran player, but someone who kind of dabbles in Terran every now and then. I prefer to build the command center in the main base, upgrade it into an orbital, and then float it down. Yes, you lose a little bit of mining time, but it is a lot more safe. So I gotta say, I agree with Morrow on that one, and I think it's gonna be the safer of the two options here. Now, a couple of other things I need to mention. Number one, Morrow is now on Team Western Wolves. There has been a lot of team drama. I'm not sure if Morrow was a part of that, but there has been a lot of team drama lately, and not teen drama, guys. Maybe some of you who have sisters have had to watch plenty of teen drama. But anyways, team drama lately, and honestly, I haven't been talking about it that much because I think that this just time is going to weed out the good from the bad, the men from the boys, I guess. I don't know exactly how to say it. But there are going to be a lot of teams closing shop, a lot of new teams opening up. Ooh, I do love this kind of hidden Twilight Council down here. Trying to decide exactly what he could use it for. I mean, it could be Hidden Blink, it could be a DT Rush. It can really be a lot of things at this point, but either way, hiding behind the mineral line is pretty darn cool. And you gotta remember that he can destroy these rocks and will eventually take this base anyway, so even though it's hidden, it's not necessarily vulnerable. It is definitely hidden from a scan. Not hidden from a random scouting worker, though, that could easily spot that, trying to see if there is a third base or not. But anyways, so Morrow is on Team Western Wolves. He didn't play Wings of Liberty for quite some time, and is now, or excuse me, he didn't play Heart of the Swarm for quite some time. He's just now starting to dabble in it, as this is a best-of-9 show match. Now, I'm not going to be casting every single game, but just know that there's about 170 euros on the line, and compared to the American dollar, that's worth about $300,000. Of course, I'm joking, as the American dollar is just tanking right now. But either way, a lot of money on the line just to play one best-of-9, as he is going to be tickling these rocks to death. That is a lot of sentries here for Babyknight. I'm kind of trying to figure out exactly what he could use that for. One thing I'm kind of curious about, though, and I'm thinking about this the longer and longer this game is going to be going on, the production tab now separates these units with a big gap here, and I'm worried that we're going to be seeing our production tab more often go under the name banner there, so we'll see exactly what happens. But that was just kind of a random thought I had. We do have the pylon now placed forward in the center of the map, actually a little bit past forward, so it's going to be a tiny bit more aggressive. And the Dark Shrine is on the way, but guess what? The Hellion might actually spot this here, depending on how far back he wants to scout. He does see it! He actually spots it there. Complete disaster here for Babyknight. It was moments away from being done, and oh no, the pylon's going to get taken out as well. This shows you the importance of scouting. You can see Babyknight there saying LOL because his whole plan has just backfired right now. But guys, this may be one of those sayings where you're just like face palming for Babyknight. You're like, why did you put it there? Blah, blah, blah. Just know that Terran players a lot of the time are not this active in the game. Notice how he's actually going for mech as well, which is quite interesting to be quite frank. But either way, the scouting from Morrow there was phenomenal. I highly recommend to Terran players, especially if you're going for mech, just use your Hellions to spot things, because if Protoss hides any pylons anywhere, you have to know about it. There is one DT up here just kind of ready and waiting for the expansion to go down, but really I feel like these are like the unemployed DTs, where, you know, they were about to hit an awesome timing, they were about to hit like in the housing boom or something, and then when it all crashes down, they're just kind of a jobless DT, because they did have a job of getting a sneak attack on the timing there, and now really all they can do is block off flying buildings. So they have been lowered to minimum wage jobs, and there's not a whole lot he can do about it. I assume that's going to be a scan. And that DT, yep, this is why you don't take jobs at a temp agency if you're a DT, because you're just going to get completely destroyed there. But the expansion now for Babyknight is going to be up and running. Of course, the Dark Shrine is done, which don't count him out just yet, because you got to remember that Archons do not count as armored units and do not count as light units, so they're not going to be taking extra damage from those mech, from either the Hellions or the siege tanks. What that means is that, you know, Archon's actually pretty viable in those engagements. So I'm kind of curious to see if he ends up using those or not. The DT right there, does he decide to hack and slash? Nope, he just decides to die. Whoever is in charge of giving these DT jobs should be fired. This temp agency is horrible. And maybe they're better at giving probes jobs, giving some manual labor. But those 4 DTs trying to go for the rest. Oh, but the force field's a little bit ridiculous there. That's going to be making up for those DTs right away. You can see that actually the resources lost is even now. And these Hellions at this point just trying to buy time and get them out of position to try and recoup some of those losses. Unfortunately, the Hellions are going to run face first into a bunch of rocks right now. And so what that means is that, yep, they're not going to be able to harass right there. And unfortunately for Morrow, he didn't get in there in time. There's the scan right there. He wants to see, hey, can 4 Hellions take this? No, they cannot. 4 Hellions can barely take on, you know, a couple of Zealots, let alone Archons and that amount of Immortals. Because even though the Immortals don't do additional damage versus the Hellions do basically no damage versus the Immortals. So I think that that was definitely the correct choice there. Not going to be running up that ramp. Now, he does have a Ghost Academy here. Now, is this going to be for Nuke, which is kind of silly, or is it going to be for some sort of biomech play, where he's actually going to be going for Ghosts and Marines and Siege Tanks and Hellions? I would like to see that. I'm kind of curious to see if he can manage to pull it off or not. But with Tech Labs on the way, he very well could be going for Ghosts right now. But you got to remember that he's only probably most likely going to have 1 barracks right now. The Archon here had 1 job, which was to stop these Hellions. There's a nice Hellion split there, but a lot of probes are surely going to fall here as the counterattack potential is ridiculous. The Archon, man, you got to do your job a lot more quickly, and these Hellions are continuing around. You can see that Morrow doing as much damage as possible here. Will eventually, it looks like, lose this Hellion, but not before getting even more scouting intel off. So how many workers did he actually manage to kill right there? 18 workers killed overall. There's also going to be a medevac there with 4 Hellions inside. Going to be doing that good old Hellion drop. Now more reinforcements are warping in over here, so that should be just fine. It does look like Babyknight's going to try and go for it. And with this army, he's actually doing a surprising amount of damage because he can basically one-shot these siege tanks, which is a lot of free kills at this point. The Immortals are just not dying right now. Oh my god, they're so good. Actually using hallucinated Immortals right now. I was wondering where he got so many Immortals, even tricking me. But those Immortals got a supply block potentially. No, I guess after killing so many units, supply block isn't a threat. But wow, Babyknight actually doing ridiculous things right there. And one thing I never have guessed is, do hallucinated Immortals have hardened shields? That's actually a good question. I've never actually tried that. I don't think that they do. I imagine that wouldn't be an oversight by Blizzard, but either way, that was able to do a ridiculous amount of damage, even up the units lost by a great margin. Look at that. Oh my god, those Hellions doing so much damage, but it don't matter because Protoss players, man, you just make Immortals and you will kill all the mech units. There is some Hellbats on the way though, but remember, Hellbats count as light units. That means that, you know, a unit like an Archon can do quite well, but the Stalkers and the Immortals do not do additional damage. So in a build that does so much burst damage like mech, being able to survive for just a couple more seconds is actually a huge deal because you're going to be bursting down that army. So don't count Morrow out just yet, because those Hellbats I feel like are going to make a big difference. The Thors as well can help clean out those Zealots in no time. It's really the Immortals you got to watch out for, because nothing that mech has is really that good versus the Immortals. And we do see the medevac right there. Going to go ahead and unload. Notice that he has them in Hellbat form because that cone is just so devastating. Actually going to be going for the main base here instead of going for the expansion, which is actually the correct choice. More Stalkers warping in though. And you got to remember that Hellbats move quite slowly, so the Stalkers should be able to deal with this, but they just do so much damage. Oh, that High Templar, wrong place, wrong time, as Morrow is going to get a freebie there. A nice warp in of extra units right there to trap these units right now. And not fully trapped, though. That one Hellion does manage to escape. Can he actually make anything happen, though? He's actually just going to transform there and get taken out. But it does look like more Hellions over here trying to engage as well. So Morrow trying to be everywhere and actually managing to get himself a substantial supply lead here. I think the majority of it is the fact that, you know, things like Thors and siege tanks just take up so much supply. And having dabbled a little bit in mech play, you just have so much extra minerals that you can power so many Hellions. It's like you're playing Zerg, just because you're going to have so many Hellions as opposed to Zerglings, of course. But I believe that was 10 High Templar, which will most likely be morphed into Archons. Every single one right there actually getting morphed into an Archon. So I'm kind of curious to see exactly how this plays out, because that many Archons definitely needs to be grouped up with the army, with the main army right now. And they will here be pretty shortly grouped with this army, and +2 with +3 on the way. But guess what? We have the same upgrades for mech about to finish, and they did indeed just finish right there. The EMP is absolutely ridiculous here. This biomech play doing a nice amount of damage. The Stalkers cannot burst down like they used to, because really they're there to absorb a lot of the damage while the Immortals do the bursting. So there's no burst going on whatsoever, and mass EMP right there. So this is not the correct unit choice. If you are Protoss, getting absolutely destroyed by those EMPs, and Morrow's like, what, son? You thought you were ahead, and now you're behind. And now actually tied here in the units lost. So it's going to come down to kind of the income here, and the fact that Morrow has about a 60 supply lead. That sure as hell ain't going to hurt either. Yes, I just used the word ain't in a cast. Whatever, haters gonna hate. We got the Zealots gonna be moving out right now. They do have +3 attack here, nearly done. But really, he needs to get out some sort of other upgrade. I mean, armor would be great because those EMPs are just knocking out the shields right away. So going up against 2 attack on those Hellbats, on those Thors, and on those tanks is gonna be troublesome at least. So we'll see if he can actually engage us here. But I think this game's already lost. Morrow is maxed out. He's basically just saving money at this point. And you can see spending money on random upgrades. He's got +3. He's got the Mobius reactor. He's got an armory going down, because why the hell not? He's got lots of money to burn at this point. The Zealots are ready to go. This is not looking good for Babyknight. Even if he engages this directly, there's just no chance. Even if he gets the best concave ever, I mean, these Hellbats are just going to completely decimate this. You can see how quickly those Zealots actually melt away, especially with the no armor upgrade going up against the +2 attack right now. Those Archons, having been used to being very good versus Terran, not so much in these situations with the EMPs to the face. And unfortunately for Babyknight, he is going to get destroyed. So I got to say, Morrow actually making mech work for once, which I got to say is something that he's not been able to do in the past, and really no one has been able to do in the past. Setting up missile turrets there. Also about to see a sensor tower that was trying to go down right now. Don't think that's going to happen here, as Morrow is able to take out the game. So good old Western Wolves' Morrow got to be able to take out Babyknight here, but there are more games in this best of 9 series. I'm going to go ahead and take a gander at those, see if they are worth uploading, and we shall see. But I got to say, Morrow making mech look pretty good, but really it still came down to the bio aspect with those EMPs. I feel like that was really the game winner for him. I feel like Babyknight just can't believe what is happening right now. He's trying to warp in more Zealots, but they're just not going to do anything. I mean, these Hellbats don't even have Blue Flame, and they are just going to eat up all these units alive. And these poor probes especially don't really stand a chance. Oh, wait. Babyknight get a little bit of a push here. Don't think he's going to be able to, you know, safely come away from this because he's about 100 supply behind. But I think technically he will clean up this army. But how do you follow up the return army? And you got to remember, I mean, look at the production tab right now. 2 Hellions, 4 tanks, 1 Marine with a +3 attack. So Morrow, though, it shows you, though, how Mech can have a difficulty actually sealing a deal here. Although if he does manage to kill off this Nexus, that is going to be game over because that's really his only mining base. Technically, he still has this base mining. But after losing that natural, the main base is essentially mined out. It does like the Immortals and Archon's got to push through here. And Babyknight not going down without a fight, that's for sure. But with the Medivacs healing up those Hellbats, I mean, really, what can you do as Protoss with so few units? There's going to be the GG. Babyknight taps out before peacing on out. And speaking of peacing out, well, number one, go peace out and read that article about the Warcraft movie. But number two, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at more of those games. PvT, very exciting to watch. We didn't see too many new units out of Babyknight. Actually, did we see any? I don't think we did. He is opting not to use the Mothership Core, which is kind of an interesting choice because the Mothership Core can be good and it can be bad, and some of these players, you know, they don't want to rely on Mass Recall. They don't want to rely on Time Warp, and the Photon Overcharge, though, that is pretty sexy. I don't care who you are. The Photon Overcharge is amazing on the Nexus, but either way, we'll see if Babyknight decides to start using more new units or if he is still adjusting to Heart of the Swarm. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.